Oh, there we go. I am, good evening. I'm John Sidoti. I am a national real estate investor and operator, and I want to thank you for joining and taking the time out to watch this investor presentation. This is the Williston Industrial Complex, Williston, North Dakota, and today is June 12th, 2024. Now I'm going to pass it over to my partner Andy, who's going to discuss the deal a little further.
Thank you very much, John, and thank you all of you for joining us this evening. For those of you that don't know, my name is Andy Bethel.
I feel like no one's
I'm
gonna say
attorney,
anything to walk there
and
and
I'm
that.
part of this team of real estate investors,
There's
real
someone
estate
walking.
professionals who are really passionate about the industrial storage space and the potential returns in this sector. And so today, we're going to talk about exactly why we're so passionate about the industrial storage space and why we like it so much. Then my colleague Lev Cooper, who lives in the Williston, North Dakota market, he's going to come on and talk about, why Williston, North Dakota is such an exciting market. And then finally, we're going to talk about the property itself and why we like this particular property. But before we get to any of that stuff, as an attorney, one subject near and dear to my heart, the disclosures. There's a lot of language here, but there's three key concepts I really want to get into. One, this webinar is not the actual securities offering. If you decide to invest, you're going to be presented with subscription documents. Those contain the actual terms of the investment, so do read those carefully. Secondly, we're going to be talking a lot about our projections for this property as well as the past performance for other properties. The projections are just that. They are projections. You should evaluate it on your own. And with regards to the past projects, past performance is no guarantee of future returns. This is an investment for accredited investors only. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, am I an accredited investor or not? If you're not sure, reach out to somebody on the team. We can help you set you up with a tool that can evaluate whether you meet the criteria for an accredited investor. Now, you may be watching this and saying, you know what, there's no way I'm an accredited investor. Please, stick around, watch the presentation. One, there may be somebody you want to share this with. Two, if you talk with us, you may find out that you do satisfy one of the criteria for an accredited investor. So please stick around for the presentation. Now let's get into industrial storage and why we like it so much. Industrial storage has a number of advantages. One, it's a diverse tenant base. So it really taps into many different sectors of the economy. So logistics and supply chain, right? Those move through warehouses. Smaller manufacturing centers, those can take place in warehouses and industrial storage spaces. Local contractors may be using it to store inventory or equipment. So there's a lot of different ways to tap into the economy, which is good. It creates diversity. More importantly, though, there's stability. The leases on these projects tend to be much longer term than those of you that are doing residential investing may be used to. It's very typical to have anywhere from a 3 to a 10-year lease with your tenants. So that creates stability. What also creates stability is lower maintenance costs. So, the tenants typically are less demanding than your residential tenants, and it's much easier to predict when maintenance costs are going to arise. But the better news about maintenance costs and other costs is that these leases are what are known as triple net leases. So that means it's already baked into the lease that the tenant is going to bear certain costs. For example, increases in property taxes, those are always baked into the lease. Increases in insurance costs, those are baked into the lease to be paid by the tenant. Certain maintenance costs, all that can be put in the lease so that the tenant is responsible for it. And what this really creates at the end of the day is a very resilient set of cash flows. I mean, we're going to talk about cash on cash returns for this property, anywhere from 8 to 10%. We're going to show you some other projects we work on with even higher cash on cash returns. The cash flow is very, very stable because of the long-term leases, because of the predictable maintenance costs. And this is great as part of any investment portfolio. You may be investing in other sectors that might be experiencing high returns right now, but with a great deal of volatility. This delivers very solid returns with much less volatility. And let's take a look at a couple past projects. So these two projects up here, these are not cherry pick projects. We just, we had only room for two on the slide, but we could have gone through other projects as well. The Garden City, Georgia project, that's in the Savannah area. We have a couple properties out there. And you can see, we're looking at 18% cash on cash return right now for this property, which is pretty incredible. The Shreveport, Louisiana property, slightly smaller property, but again, 34% cash on cash returns. So the returns have been really, really strong. And again, they're pretty stable because of the long-term leases and the predictable maintenance costs. Now I'm going to turn things over to my colleague Lev Cooper, who's based in Williston, and he's going to tell you exactly why you should be excited about the Williston, North Dakota market.
How's it going? I'm Lev Cooper, and I'm from Williston, North Dakota. I've lived here for the past 14 years. I'm super excited about the market because the growth we've seen over the past few years. Not only am I excited about the market, but also I pitched this deal to Grant Cardone's Bring Your Deal workshop last week in the room with Grant and many other investors. And this deal was picked out of all the deals pitched that day as the deal of the day. So that's always exciting. But Williston itself, we have over $2 billion of new construction going on right now. This city has almost tripled since 2010. This out of that $2 billion, $1 billion of that has been just for the infrastructure in the city itself. And then all these projects below, which these are just a few of the new projects. Some of these surrounding oil and gas, and there's many other projects outside of oil and gas, which is also exciting. So that there's new projects, new infrastructures coming in. But there's well over $4 billion worth of projects coming into the city of Williston right now in the surrounding area. So as we've seen growth and we've seen everything picking up here in the market, new growth to the city, all these new projects that are starting up will also add more growth. Also, in 2019, we built a new airport. That was another $240 million project. And on top of all that, we are sitting on one of the largest oil sites in the entire United States. With that being said, I'm going to pass this on to John.
Thank you, Lev. I'm John Sidoti. I'm a operator on this Williston Industrial Complex, and I want to thank you again, everybody, joining us for this presentation. One of the things that really excites me most about this project are the numbers on the deal. So let's run through the numbers in the investment in this Williston Industrial Complex. We are buying the asset at $4.9 million. That's $125 a foot. And we couldn't build this asset for under $300 to $350 a foot. So we're buying it at $4.9 million. $300 to $350 is about I believe it's $7 or $8 million, which is a lot of money. A lot of money more than what we're buying it at. And this asset comes with the cash flow, the reputation, with all of that in place. We are pushing an 11 cap rate at the acquisition, which 11 cap rates you can't find those right now in the market. We do have low expenses at about 11%, and that is because of this the triple net structure, and that's meaning that the tenants reimburse us as the landlord for expenses like utilities, like their portion of the insurance and their portion of the taxes as well. Our total raise is $2.1 million, And we do have secured debt in place of 65% loan to value at a rate of 6.97 for 5 years fixed with a local bank in that Williston, North Dakota market. The next thing that really excites me on this deal is the quality of construction. This is a 2012 build, 39,000 square foot asset with 11 bays ranging from 3,200 to 4,500 square feet. And this construction is incredible. Let's run through the returns. The returns are based on a 5-year projection, 5-year pro forma. Cash flow goes from 8% in year 1 to 9% in years 2 and 3, and then 10% in years 4 and 5. Your average cash on cash over the life of the investment is 9.5%. That's about a 20% average annual return at the end of the investment, which is 17% internal rate of return. You cannot achieve those returns anywhere really right now in the market, and these are sheltered returns because it's real estate, so you're sheltered. Let's run through the rent analysis. Now we have 11 units with rents ranging in the $6 range to $19 a square foot. Our business plan has us bringing the rents closer to market, which is in that $15 to $16 a foot range. The market has a 3% annual increase every year, automatic annual increases. One of the things that make this such a stable, predictable asset. This is best in market.
Average square sizes.
This is best in market construction with electric openers on all the overhead doors. We have 16-foot overhead doors in each unit, 220 volt electric panels, service coming into each unit. We have heating and cooling in the bays and the offices, as well as 2 bathrooms per unit in energy efficient construction. Now, moving on to an overview of the asset. We are buying this at $4.9 million with a total raise of $2.1 million. We have debt locked in at 6.97 for 5 years, 65% loan to value. We do have an 80-20 split structure in favor of the limited partner investors, where we split all cash flow and all realized appreciation for this asset. The project is based on a 5-year hold with conservative underwriting, and we do exit at the end of 5 years, whether it being a refi, a sale, condoization, break this asset up into 5 business condos and sell them off piece by piece. So now for a quick team introduction, Trevor and Shannon, if you want to kick it off.
Hello, we are Shannon and Trevor Sherman. Trevor, I think, is on here. He's out flying the friendly skies today, but we're in Phoenix and excited to see everyone on here.
Awesome. Thanks, Shannon. I'm John Sidoti. I'm a owner operator in this deal. I do have 10 years of real estate investing experience, investing operations. I am invested in over 1,000 units across multifamily, multi-tenant industrial, triple net industrial, throughout the country. And my background is construction, where we built commercial buildings, and now we're owning and operating the buildings that we once built.
I'm Lev Cooper. I've lived in Williston, North Dakota for 14 years. I've been in the oil and gas industry as well for 14 years, owner and operator of a service company out here. And I've been heavily investing and learning real estate for the past 5 years. And yeah, this excited to do this deal. This is a great group, and excited about this asset. Pass it on to Danny.
Good evening, Danny Haricki, Austin, Texas. We jumped in the commercial real estate about 4 years ago. Since then, we've acquired about 500 units as a GP, and we're in just under 1,500 units as an LP. And Corey.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Corey Luton. I've been investing in real estate a little over 7 years. As you can see in the bio, I've done a few deals, and just really excited about this project coming up, and look forward to working with everybody. I'll pass it over to Andy and Diana.
Thank you, Corey. This is Andy Dressel again, and my wife Diana, I believe, is on the call. I'm an attorney. Diana is a very successful entrepreneur. She has her own executive recruiting business, and we've been investing in real estate now for close to a decade. And we just started getting involved in the industrial space in the past couple of years, and it's been a tremendously exciting space. John, I'll turn it back over to you.
Oh, that's so cool. The whole yard.
John, you're on.
Muted. You're
John,
muted.
you're on mute.
Sorry about that. PSA was executed back in mid-May. The due diligence is just wrapping up now. We have a closing scheduled in 15 days towards the on June 28th. Please reach out to one of the sponsors on the team to discuss next steps. You can follow that QR code in the lower left, or follow this this Survey Monkey link. You can fill out the survey, and one of the operators will be in touch shortly. I want to thank everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Williston Industrial Complex webinar. Thank you, and now we will open it up for a question and answer.
It's just the picture with the blue roof, right?